It is impossible to get to New Year's Eve and reflect on 2014 without thinking about how different 2015 will be. What will you achieve? Will you be satisfied this time next year, or does the idea of setting goals fill you with anxiety or dread? And before you even get round to achieving the resolutions, how will you make them? I mean, you can have jars of little post-its, you can write a list and put it on your wall, or even just a note on your mobile phone. Do something as long as it helps you, remind you about what you want to achieve. Setting targets for the year ahead might seem like the last thing you want to do after all the stress of the festive season. I mean, you've just finished clearing up after everyone, you've barely had a moment to breathe, and you're thinking about the next big thing. Surely it's a lot easier to play the time out card. Well, actually, I find New Year's resolutions work wonders in helping you move forward and battling this so-called post-Christmas depression. I mean, I've already decided that I want to be driving home next Christmas, or at least be able to. I want to be competent at using Photoshop, and I want to explore a city somewhere in the world that I've not been to yet. I mean, they're not exactly formidable monoliths of targets, but at the same time, they'd be things that I'd be happy looking back on once 2015 comes to a close. But before that, there is the act of seeing in the new year itself. The hootenanny or the fireworks on the telly just isn't enough for our generation. No, you have to be out there living life to the full, no question about it. Sometimes I feel the stress of simply having something to do is almost too much to bear. I mean, it'd be a lot easier just to shrug it off or even work somewhere until midnight. At least then you've got an excuse when someone asks you, so what are you doing? Oh, no, I'm just working, you know. It happens. I mean, I am actually working till 10 on the big night this year, and it's going to be breakneck madness just trying to get over to my friend's place before the final chime at midnight. I mean, in Liverpool alone, there are hundreds of different things going on. There's part of me that's always like, is it really worth it? Despite the stress involved, I'm inclined to say yes, actually. Not just for the obvious reason it'll be more entertaining, but I really think you should start the year as you intend to go on throughout it. Going into the new year with all guns blazing is a great attitude to have, and it gets you through the month because, let's face it, January can be pretty bleak. Everything just seems to shut down in order to reduce costs and retreat inside from the harshness of winter. You need all the motivation you can muster just to get through it. From that perspective, there's nothing like seeing friendly faces on New Year's Eve and thinking about what you've achieved in the last 12 months. Just a selection of memories for me are attending my first Glastonbury festival, interning at Amazing Radio up in the northeast, and then the small matter of graduating from university. So do it, set some goals, and just remember you haven't got to achieve them all in the first couple of weeks of January. You've got 365 days to do things. That's plenty of time. A checklist can be really stimulating if you get to some parts of the year and you're not sure what you're doing or what you are going to do, and you can look back on the list and be like, oh yeah, that idea, I can do that now. I mean, the thing about those targets that I mentioned earlier is that none of them are set in stone. The only thing I really have pinned down is my second trip to Glastonbury this year. And really though, the best thing about a clear slate in a new year is that it's new things. You can fill it all in. Do something that you'd be happy to look back on come the end of 2015. Life, after all, is for doing, not spectating. Have a very happy new year, and I'll see you next time for the final Christmas vlog. On the first day of Christmas, Zeppelin gave to me a video because I subscribed.